Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're watching this particular recording. Today I want to talk to you about a very important topic related to Agentforce. How do you design and build your agents? If you have completed the badges for Agentforce, you may be thinking, but how do I write those instructions? And that is a great question, because it's very different from traditional development. When I first started building my own agents, I did experience some difficulty. Even though I have many years of software development experience, including 16 years of working in Salesforce programming with languages like Apex, APIs, line components, flows, because there are many things that I had to forget to be able to successfully understand how to build those agents with Agentforce. So in this session, Zero to Success, build your first Agentforce agent, I want to help you understand how to build those particular agents. So let's get started. My name is Andres Perez. I go in the community by El Toro IT. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I do work for Salesforce, but these videos are actually not part of my regular job. I am based in Canada. I write a lot of blogging on Medium. I'm starting to create videos on YouTube. I've been working with Salesforce since Winter 09. And I've had several certifications that I have collected in the time. So who's this video for? I'm building this video for complete beginners who've never written a single line of code. So I'm making not assumptions at all. But actually, it is also for experienced developers who are ready to think differently, or anyone who is curious about how to build Agentforce agents. Today, I'm going to start with a new section, with the first section, which is called A New Way of Thinking. Then we'll talk about designing Agentforce agents. We'll do a basic demo just to get the mechanics out of the way, which is getting ready to create the first Agentforce agent. We're not going to do like Trailhead and I'm going to ask you to click here. No, we're going to try to analyze the problem and come together with a solution. That will happen on the fun demo, where we're going to create an Agentforce agent that will help us play a game. So let's begin with the first section, a new way of thinking. Because building Agentforce agents means teaching them rather than programming them. We gotta stop thinking about programming, start thinking about teaching agents how to work. So start with a comparison between building agents and traditional programming. If you're a developer, forget everything you know about programming, because this is a new paradigm that we need to understand how to work with. If you're not a developer, great, you have an advantage. I think this is the very first time that actually that is true. It will be easier for non-developers than for developers. But I am a developer. I'm a geeky by heart. And I want to teach geeks as well how to think about building these agents, because it's completely different from what you have been working with. And why? Why is traditional programming, why might it hold you back? Well, because we, as programmers, we are too focused on implementation details. We're stuck on procedural thinking, and that's something needs to start changing to be able to build successfully Agentforce agents. Developers miss the forest for the trees. It's very, very important as a developer to understand the trees and look at the detail and think about every single detail how that is going to work. But with agents and Agentforce, we need to push back a little bit and think about the forest rather than the trees. And that's kind of one of the main goals of this particular session. Try to guide you into that particular new way of thinking. Stop over-engineering solutions. All right, so the old way, programming way, the way we typically think, and I say we, so I'm a geek by heart, very technical programmer, an architect. But we typically in programming, we write specific instructions. We handle every edge case. We define the exact procedures, how things should be done. And that's the problem. We are focusing on the how things are done. But that's not how Agentforce works. The new way of thinking with Agentforce, you set the goals and boundaries. You teach decision making. You provide context and knowledge. And you focus on the what and the why, not on the how. And we'll see this on the demo once we get there. Think like a manager, not like a programmer. So imagine you're training a new employee. You don't program their every move. You explain the objectives. You provide resources. You set the boundaries. You trust their judgment. And this is how we build Agentforce agents. So now we're talking about that. Let's jump into the second section, which is designing Agentforce agents. So what's an Agentforce agent? Well, an Agentforce agent is an autonomous AI. It's able to autonomously, without supervision, be able to take some actions and make decisions autonomously. It understands the context, in the particular case of Agentforce, of the conversation that we are having with it. It learns from those interactions. It operates with clear goals and is constrained by guardrails. So now we understand what an agent is. Let's think about how we're going to plan to build one. So when you're in the planning stage, you gotta answer these questions. What problem will your agent solve? What is the agent's main goal? How will that goal be solved? Think about what information the agent needs, what actions it can take, what should it be able to do, and equally important, what will it not do? Think about and establish those guardrails. And last but not least, how are you going to measure success? How do you know if your agent is successful? Now, there's some common pitfalls to avoid. Don't overcomplicate the purpose. Avoid trying to handle every possible scenario on the agent. Don't think in code. Focus on what needs to be done and why it needs to be done, rather than how it needs to be done. Don't give too many specific instructions. Otherwise, you are coding, not teaching. There are some best practices to follow. First, there's no business for having business logic in the agent. Remember to think about what needs to be done and why it needs to be done, rather than how it needs to be done. Start simple, but build incrementally. Understand your agent's capabilities and limitations. Agents are really good at handling natural language, English, Spanish, French, etc. Agents are non-deterministic. What does that mean? What does non-deterministic mean? Let me give you a couple examples. Deterministic means that if you have the same inputs, it will produce the same results every single little time. You take a calculator, you punch 2 plus 3 equals, and it will always give you the same answer, 5. 2 plus 3 equals 5. Always. If it is in the morning, in the evening, it's raining, if it is not raining, doesn't matter. It's always going to be the same results. That is not the case with non-deterministic, where the same inputs may produce different results. Think about a dice. You throw a dice, and the dice will fall on the table and show a different number. It's a random number. It's always going to be random. Now, there are some things in this particular example that are always going to be true, and that's what you can rely your programming on. For example, you know that the dice will fall. There's such a thing as gravity. The dice will not float or go to the ceiling or whatever. The dice will fall. So you know there are some things that are true. What number will be shown when it falls? Oh, that's not deterministic. You know that when you throw the dice itself will not change colors. It will land on the table. So there's things that you can determine. Okay? Let me give you another example. Let's suppose that these two fellows are friends and they haven't seen in a while, maybe a week or whatever, and they cross paths on the street. Then he says, "Hi, how are you?" And let's suppose that she is doing fine. So what is she going to answer? "Oh, I'm doing great. Pretty good. All good here. Quite well, splendid, just fine, going well, very well, excellent." Same answer. She's doing okay. She's doing good. But the words are different. So there's some non-deterministic going on here. She's not going to run away and call the police and punch him or whatever. She's going to reply. What is the words that she's going to use when replying? Well, that part is non-deterministic. All right, we're going to go through a demo where we want to create our first agent. Now, this particular demo is going to be very simple. It's about the mechanics of creating one. The next demo is where it gets really interesting. But let's get the mechanics out of the way. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, we go into the setup menu. We look for agents. And we click new agent over here on the top right. We select Agentforce Service Agent. Let's, for now, leave all the topics. Here's where we are going to enter our first piece of information. So the first thing is the name. We're going to call this first agent. I'm going to give it a description. The description we're going to give says, this agent will help learn how to build agents in Salesforce Agentforce by playing personal games. Two-person games. That's the description. The role is you are one of the players in a two-person game, and your participation in these games will help learn about Agentforce. Company, well, I'm actually not a company, so I'm gonna put this here under company. El Toro IT, that's me. It's not a company, but he knows how to build good demos. Well, thank you. Hopefully I do. Hopefully you like this demo. Then we're going to select the user. The easier thing here is just to create a new agent user. And once we fill this, now we can go into the next screen. And we're just going to create this. For now, we don't need data cloud. I'm running on a Scratch org, so we don't really have data cloud. But here's where you could do a RAG and stuff if you were interested in that. All right, click create, but that's going to be for a different video. That's going to be for a completely different video later. For now, we are more interested in building a Agentforce. Now we need to remove all these agents, or topics, I should say. Remove from agent. Remove from agent. Remove from agent. From agent. From agent. And last but not least, remove from agent. Now it's always, anytime you make a change in your agent, it's a good idea to come back in here and refresh your conversation here using the latest changes that we have done. Okay? So that's the mechanics. Now where the fun part starts. So we're going to build a demo, and this is going to be a fun demo. Let's have some fun learning how to build Agentforce agents. It's going to be really fun, I promise. Well, I hope it is. Because what the agent is going to do is it's going to test your geography knowledge. Completely non-CRM. I just want to show how to think building agents. Then you can use it for whatever you want. But this particular video is just about how do you think about building those agents? How do you analyze? Some of the things that we talk about on the screens. Okay? So let's build this agent. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here under topics. We're going to create a new topic. The label for the topic is going to be Geography Game. The description. This topic allows the user to play a geography game. The scope. The agent will not have access to the data. This is what we're establishing the guardrails. This is just a game, just for fun, that will be played with the user. And the instructions, we have one very simple instruction, very simple instruction here, which reads, ask the user an easy, hopefully it's easy, geography question and validate the answer provided. If the question is not easy, or if I don't know the correct answer, I'm going to make a fool of myself in front of a video recording, but that's fine. It's part of being non-deterministic. I do not know which questions it's going to ask. Notice I'm not indicating here, go to a database and read a set of questions, and no, we're not telling how. We're just telling what needs to be done. Okay? For this particular one, at this particular time, there's no actions. We'll talk about them in just a little bit. So we just click finish. Since we make changes to the agent configuration, it's always a good idea, as I did mention before, to go in and refresh the agent. And we're going to start here, play a game. Okay, so I want to play a game. We're going to hit enter. We're going to see how this works. One of the most important things that you want to work with when you're building your agent is the actual agent planner. This is what tells you what is going on behind scenes. How is it thinking about the questions? How is it thinking about the answers? So we enter a prompt. I want to play a game. It looked for a topic that would allow to meet that particular prompt, playing a game. And the topic that he found is a geography game, which has one instruction, and so far we have added 0 actions. So then it went into reasoning how to best use that topic to help me answer the question. It's a small talk, that's all right. The response is a small talk that is engaging the user in a game and asking a question without providing any specific information. Nothing in the response indicates a prompt injection. We didn't try to hack into the agent. So here's the response. Sure, let's play a geography game. Here's an easy question to start. What's kind of interesting is that while I was building this and trying to get with the correct prompts and stuff, the first question that it always asks, but this is not going to be always true because it's non-deterministic, is what is the capital of France? Right, so we got to answer that. Help me out. What is the capital of France? Oh, that's an easy one. Paris is the capital of France. All right, so one thing and I also like to do is when I'm ready to hit enter and ask another question, I always like to collapse this. That way, this is empty, and anything that we'll see is because of what I just typed in here. So let's hit Paris. It's analyzing the request, and it says correct. Paris is the capital of France. Okay, so how did it do this? Well, again, we went through a prompt. It selected the geography game. It knows from the context what was the last question it asked me. And the question is, what is the capital of France? So that's in the context of this conversation. So it doesn't say, what do you mean Paris? You want to go to Paris? You want to book 2 flights to Paris? Well, I do, but that's a different story. So what is the capital of France? It knows from the context. Okay? And no injection, no security violations, no nothing. All right, so it says, all right, correct. Do you want Paris is the capital of France? Would you like to try another question? So let's collapse this. And we can say yes. And hit enter. Oh, great. Here's another question. What is the largest country by land? Russia. Canada is second. Russia is first. Right, so we can collapse these. I always like to collapse these so that anything that shows here is because of the response of my last interaction with it. All right, so let's say here that is correct. Russia is the largest country by land area. Would you like to go for another question? Say yes. But actually, we're going to make an improvement. Rather than ask me one question and then do you want to play again? And ask another question, or do you want to play again? And ask a question, you want to play again? Let's play until I say stop, right? That's going to be a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my geography game, go into my set of instructions in here, and I'm going to add another instruction. The next instruction, do not ask the user if he wants to play. Just assume that he does. Just keep asking questions until the user types the word stop. Okay, let's see if that works. So we're going to save that. You always want to refresh. I'm going to start over. Play a game. Oops. Play a game. We're going to hit this button over here. All right. Something interesting I've noticed in all the different tests I've been doing, the first question it asks is, what is the capital of France? There's a set of specific questions that it asks. The order sometimes is not deterministic. But for some reason, it always starts asking the capital of France, which we already answered that in the previous example. We know it's Paris, and we got that one right there, so we should be getting it right here. Correct, Paris is the capital of France. Woo! Notice they didn't ask, do you want to play a game? Okay, it's assuming that we want to play a game. So the next question is, which continent is the Sahara Desert located on? The Sahara, it's in Africa. Notice that now it didn't ask the second question, which was the Russia, or the largest country by region or whatever, by area or whatever. But now it's asking a different question. And the answer here is Africa. So we hit enter. And that is right. The Sahara Desert is located in Africa. What is the largest ocean in Earth? That one is Pacific. Correct. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean on Earth. All right. Good. Next question. No, I don't want to play anymore. Let's say stop. Which country has the largest population in the world? I know that one, I think, but I'm not gonna play it. I'm gonna say stop. Actually, the answer is China. All right, I'm gonna hit stop. Got it. If you have any questions, blah 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 blah. All right, so it follow our instructions. All right, now let's actually do one more addition to it. We're going to add one more instruction, one more instruction here. We're working with one single instruction and several statements in that instruction. It's actually a good idea to work everything in one single instruction. So the next thing is, okay, well, actually, let's put this on the top. I don't think the order matters, but explain how to play this game. Ask the user blah blah and do not ask blah blah blah. Okay? So click save. Refresh. So now it should explain the game. Play a game. I'm actually gonna copy paste this. Keep typing that, so might as well. Alright. Send. Let's play a geography game. Now let's explain the game. I'll ask you a geography question and you can try to answer it. Ready? Here we go. What is the capital of France? Sure, you know what? I'm gonna restart this and see if we get a different words for the definition of the game. Play game. Hopefully we do. This is non-deterministic, so we don't know what's gonna come for an answer. Oh, now it's numbering them. That's different, I think. I don't remember doing that. We're gonna make the game a little bit better. So I'm going to make this, and I'm gonna add two set of instructions, or two statements. Let me copy them and paste them right over here. Okay. Keep count on how many questions you have asked and how many the user has gotten correctly. And when the game is over, show the score including how many questions were asked and how many were answered correctly. All right, we click save. Let's refresh. We're gonna play a game. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Copy. Play a game. All right, sure. Let's play a geography game. I'll ask some geography questions. What is the capital of France? Notice that now it's asking, it's number them. Paris. Let's collapse this as we talk about, so we know that this is what we are getting. All right, Paris is the capital of France. All right, what is the second question? Which continent is the Sahara? Oh, we got this question before. Africa. And oh, something happened. It actually didn't play correctly. Sorry, I had trouble coming up with a response for the game. Could you please try rephrasing your question or let me know if there's something else I'd like you to do? So, why? I was actually expecting this. I'm just looking surprised to give some type of emotion to a video. So why? What's going on here? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the planner. We responded Africa. We're playing the same topic, geography game. Reasoning. Well, it knew that the answer was correct. It generated question number 3. What is the largest ocean on Earth? But now it lost its context. It didn't know what it was trying to do. The response is not grounded in the provided context or available functions. Because of that, it didn't give me the third question, although it knew what was going to be answered. But it gives me a more generic response or giving an error. Okay? And the reason for that, so we take a look at the instructions that we're having here. We are trying to start putting business logic in the instruction. And that was one of the things that we talked about, is you should not put business logic in your instructions. So what I want to do, and this is a good opportunity, is we're going to offload some of the responsibility of the agent into an action. We could call it a flow. We could call apex. And apex is going, or flow is going to be able to determine if the answer that the user is given is a correct answer or not. But if we think about it, and that would be a very tough thing to do for a program, because we don't have the same amount of knowledge as AI does. And we will have to build something similar to AI. But there's another action that we can actually take that will make things similar to what we need. And what I'm thinking of doing right there, it's a prompt template. So the prompt template can actually help us determine if the question is correct. The answer is correct for the question. So let's create a new prompt template. We're going to go into new prompt template. We're going to create a flex. The name of the prompt, the name of this prompt template, or that we're creating, is game validate geography question. Go here, it has an API name, of course. We can enter the description. This prompt evaluates if the user gave the correct answer to a question asked in a game. We could probably even put in here geography game. Okay. Now, we're not going to work with data, so it's not going to be an account or whatever. We're going to delete that. We're going to add one resource, which we're going to call question. The API name can be question. And this is free text. So not an object, but it's free text. And we have another one, which is called user answer. And we say free text. And now we are ready to create our template. So in here, we're going to enter. Let me copy so I don't have to type all that. You see me typing. I'm really bad typing. All right. Actually, this should have been quotes and quotes. Give me one second. Let me fix this. Then we go here. Okay, so the input question is actually coming from, you could have selected by going to a free text and question, and then user answer for this one in blue. Okay, so in a game, I ask this question to the user. Boom. The user answered, boom. Did the user get the answer correct? Okay, that's my prompt. Now, I can go here with a text inputs. I can ask for a couple of questions that he had asked me before. In the question here, we're going to say, which continent is the Sahara Desert located on? We're going to enter Africa. Okay, then we're going to save and preview. In the game, I ask this question to the user. Which continent is the Sahara Desert located on? The user answered Africa. Did the user get the correct answer? Or did they get the answer correct or whatever? Yes, the user answered correctly. The Sahara Desert located in Africa. All right, good. So then we're going to activate this. And we have our prompt ready to work. Put whatever you want in here, whatever. It's gonna fail. It's gonna say page doesn't exist. Well, of course it doesn't. But it gives me the option to start navigating. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the agent, but now I'm gonna go into actions. And I am going to create a new agent action. And this one is a prompt template. And the prompt template is the game validate geography question that we just asked. So I give it the label and the API name. We click next. Here's the important part. Okay, we have the agent instructions. This prompt evaluates if the user gave the correct answer to the question asked in the geography game. Remember, we added the word geography before. It has a couple inputs. It's got a question. It is going to be required. Question asked by agent. It is required. It is required for us to send it. Then the answer is going to be answer provided by the user. That's the user answer. And that is required. And we're going to collect the data from the user. So the user is the one that is going to have to tell us the answer. Okay. And we want to show the prompt response in the conversation. The one that says, yes, he got it correctly and Sahara is in Africa, or no, he got it wrong, or whatever. And we're going to click finish. So now that we have this action, now we're going to go back into the instructions for the agent. But now, I'm going to do something like this. Hold on. Ask the user for a geography question and validate it. No, we're not going to validate it here. So this is what we have to change. We're going to change that into ask the user a simple geography question and call action game validate geography question, the one that we just created, to validate the answer provider. So we are not going to be asking Agentforce to do the business logic of actually evaluating if the question is correct. We're going to offload that into an action. In this case, it's going to be a prompt template. There is something else we can add in here. We can add some clarification of what we're trying to do. If the user's answer is wrong, then give the correct answer and move to the next question. We're going to leave everything else the same. Don't ask the user if he wants to play. Just play until it says stop. Keep count of how many questions got correct. When the game is over, whatever. All right, we're going to click save here. Let's shrink this back. We're going to reload. And we're going to play again. All right, now take a look at the definition for the instructions of the game. Now it's more complete, more paragraphs. It says, sure, Let's play a geography game. I'll ask you a series of geography questions and I try to answer them. If you get it wrong, I'll give you the correct answer and move to the next question. We'll keep track of your score as we go. Ready? Here we go. Question number 1. Sometimes it numbers them, sometimes it doesn't because it's not deterministic. But interestingly enough, it always asks the same question to start. What is the capital of France? So we're going to say Paris. Collapse this. I'm going to show you a couple of things that are important on the planner. Once we get a response back, we'll see a couple of things. All right, so let's take a look. I say Paris. It chose the same topic, of course. Oh, it looks like there was an error. That was on me. Okay, that is on me. That is on me. What's going on? Well, what's going on is, I forgot something. What's going on is on this, we're saying call this action. But we did not give that action to the agent. So now we have to add it from the asset library. We look for something called game. Oh, maybe let's reload this page. Okay, geography game, topics, add from the asset library. Look for something called game. I always like to put that because you're going to end up with a whole bunch of different actions. So good idea to give it a name to the start of the a word to the start of the game. So all of your actions are grouped. It's going to be really, really important. All right, click finish. Since we changed the configuration of the agent, we got to reload. Let's say play game. All right, now it's a shorter description than what we saw before. It's non-deterministic. All right, what is the capital of France? Paris. Before I answer, I'm going to collapse this and answer it. All right, so let's see what happens. We enter Paris. It selected the topic. It selected the action. The action is game validation. It sent the question, what is the capital of France? It sent the answer, Paris. And the prompt say the user answered correctly. All right? All right. So we did correct. We did a good job. Congrats. High five. All right. So then, great job. You're right. The capital of France is indeed Paris. Question 2. What continent is the Sahara? Okay, we know this one is Africa. Awesome, that is correct. The Sahara Desert located in Africa. What is the largest ocean on the Earth? Pacific. Let's answer this. Let's collapse so we can analyze the next answer. Paris. Pacific. That's the last one? Yeah, Pacific. All right, so what's going on here? It sent the question and the answer, and we get the response. The user provided the correct answer. The largest ocean on Earth is indeed the Pacific Ocean. Woo! You are on a roll. See, this is random. This is non-deterministic. I didn't know that I was going to say that. I didn't tell it to say that. The largest ocean on Earth is in the Pacific Ocean. What is the longest river in the world? I'm going to stop playing it here. Let's collapse. All right, let's wrap it up. You answered 3 questions correctly out of 3. Woo! Great job. If you want to play again, just let me know. All right, so we can add some type of complex instructions as long as we don't put business logic. It's always better to offload some of the business logic from the agent into prompt template, Apex, flows, APIs, etc., etc. Okay, very good. So if you wanted to drag you upload that into the prompt template. If you wanted to do this or that, you upload it into Apex, into flows. All right, that's pretty much the game. It was fun building it. So, and that's the video. So thank you so much. Like I mentioned in the beginning, my name is Andres Perez. I go in social media. You can find me on LinkedIn with El Toro IT. If you like this video, which I'm doing on my own free time, not part of my job, and you want to support me, feel free to scan the QR code and buy me some virtual coffee. That will motivate me to keep doing things like that. I have another game, which is going to be a little bit more complex, that I want to play. So if you guys feel like this is a good video, I hear a lot of good feedback, I can start doing that, and I can go slowly through some of the most complex topics with Agentforce and Einstein AI in general inside Salesforce. So thank you. Leave me a comment. I would appreciate the virtual cup of coffee. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.